Hello, good morning everyone. Welcome sa ating channel. Dating Pangulong Duterte pinangunahan ang pangangasiwa sa PDP Laban Party upang lalo pa itong lumakas. Sa kanyang pagsasalita sa partido ay pinayuhan niya ang PNP na lalo pang paigtingin ang kanilang trabaho laban sa kriminalidad, lalo na sa kidnapping. Sa kanyang pagsalita sa ika-4 na anibersaryo ng partido, nang may tanong ng media tungkol sa kidnapping sa bansa, kaya iminungkahi ng dating Pangulo na pwede silang humingi ng tulong mula sa militar. Nilinaw din ng dating Pangulo na masyado pang anyang maaga magbigay ng komento sa bagong administrasyon ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos. Subalit naniniwala ang dating Pangulong Duterte na gagawin ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos ang pagsugpo sa lumalalang kidnapping. Samantala sa ibang balita naman, maagang naghanda ang mga oposisyon para sa susunod na eleksyon tulad ni Senator Risa Hontiverus. Bukas anya siyang tumakbo sa pagkapangulo sa 2028 presidential election.
Ko at naming lahat sa oposisyon ay una magpadami ng opposition senator sa 2025 and then patuloy na magpalawak at magpalakas para pwede kaming lumaban sa hanggang sa mga posisyon ng presidente, vice-presidente et al. Sa 2028.
Subalit, nangako naman si bagong halal Liberal Party President Lagman na muli niyang iangat ang Partido Liberal Party. Sinabi ito sa National Executive Party meeting sa San Juan City. Sinabi pa ni Lagman na nakatingin ang partido sa 2025 midterm election at 2028 presidential election. Ang tanong, makabalik pa kaya ang mga dilawan sa pwesto?
So may I appeal to our colleagues and to the good chair and vice chair, no, that let's do it slowly but surely. If we have to work overtime, if we have to go Thursdays, why not? Diba? If we have to extend after yung session natin, why not, diba? Pero kung naghahabol lang tayo dahil last day tomorrow, and then maapektuhan naman, kung may mangyari dito, may skandalo mangyari sa department, diba? Siyempre apektado, oy, 30 minutes lang yan. Oy, 4 lang nagtanong yan. Oy, lahat ng nag-endorse niyan, nag-insert lang sa record, no? Apektado po. So may I just make this appeal and make this assurance to our people that we're working hard and we'll make sure na quality ang trabahong ibibigay ng your commission on appointments. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and may I make that appeal.
If I may be able to also put on record, we made that appeal earlier, Senator Cayetano. In the beginning of the session, I already informed the Secretariat that we should only have no more than 3 committees.
Yes,
to
we have 4 secretaries, 23 ambassadors or DFA, and 1 JBC tomorrow. And I was informed no cancellation. So I don't want the secretaries to wait, Mr. Chair.
No, that's why. To allow me to explain, my dear colleague, no? We are performing our duties. We are not neglecting our duties here. Remember, we have to put it in proper context. If they are not appointed tomorrow, they will be bypassed. And therefore, the president has to reappoint them when we come back. So that also gives them a problem. It's problematic for the secretary to be bypassed and have to seek another reappointment. It is also going to hinder their performance as members of the cabinet. So that is why we always ask if there are objections. In the committee, no one is prevented, and you can ask the majority leader, no one is prevented from asking, and no one is prevented from objecting, and no one is prevented from asking another hearing. As a matter of fact, Secretary Manalo was already invited for one hearing, but we asked him to come back. So, it does not mean if we schedule you today, you will be appointed today. Swerte lang po yung tatlong secretary dahil siguro maraming kaibigan at magagaling naman talaga, and we can see there were no objections, even opposition to their appointments. Then if we can confirm them immediately. However, I get the point of the minority floor leader. I also said that earlier to the majority leader. I said to him, this is too much. It is eating in the time of the Senate. We have to be able to ask quality questions, allow our colleagues to ask the questions. So we are going to follow your lead. And maybe tomorrow, pasensya na lang. Siguro tama po si Senator Cayetano, tomorrow is our last day. We have so many topics to tackle before we go on our recess. And so we may have to sacrifice some of the appointees tomorrow. It's not that we don't want to hear them. It's just that lack of material time. And if everyone actually manifests their support, it takes over 2 hours. We started at 3 p.m. here in the plenary, and we ended almost, it's now 4:41. So if everybody reads their manifestation, it took 3 hours last Wednesday. So I agree.
Mr.
I agree
Chair,
with the minority.
to agree with you, there hasn't been, wala namang pwersahan, no?
Yeah.
And everyone has been assured that they will be consulted. Ang point ko lang naman po, syempre tao din po tayo. Pag tinitigan tayo ng mga chairman na overtime na, bilisan mo. And personally ako, although matanong din po ako, I'll ask it sa budget hearing. Pero hindi ko rin ma-attendan yung budget hearing kasi kasabay. So ang point ko lang naman po, siguro understanding from the Office of the President na because sabay-sabay, because it is the start of the new administration, may mababypass talaga. But that is not on the reflection on the performance or integrity of the nominee or the appointee. So let me just put that on record. Na yung mababypass ngayon, siguro kung 3-4 beses ka na ma-bypass, ibang usapan yun. And that's why we have a rule na kailangan magbotohan na after 3 beses, no, na ma-bypass ka. No? So having said that, I thank you, Mr. Chair, and hopefully nga, we can meet quickly and decide para hindi naman maghintay yung hindi kailangan maghintay kasi may trabaho din yung secretary na yun no. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah, we
Mr.
take
Chair.
note of that, and we will take steps to make sure that it does not happen again. And I'd like to start sessions at 3 p.m. because I am going to be ridiculed by our former Senate President, Senator Soto, who always made sure session opened at exactly 3 p.m. every day.
Mr. President.
Senator Tolentino.
Mr. President, I commend.
Just on other matters, if we look at the time, it's 4:31. Our session was supposed to start at 3 o'clock. Kung hindi ako nagkakamali, ang House of Representatives at 3 o'clock then. You know, if you listen to the way Secretary Frasco and Secretary Loizaga answered the questions a while ago, it was a real pleasure. We could spend days conversing with them, getting their ideas. And because of social media, and of course, traditional media, our journalists are here, people will hear about what they want to do, their qualifications, the integrity, what this administration is about. But let me be honest with everyone here and my dear colleagues, sana hindi tayo ma-offend. No? May nagtanong sa akin na isang pinagkakatiwalaan ko, someone I trust, and said na, "Sir, rubber stamp ba ang CA?" Sabi ko, anong ibig niyo sabihin? Sir, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 3 sekretary sa isang araw, tapos tinignan ko po yung schedule natin. Tomorrow, Secretary Manalo, Secretary Pagdaganan, Secretary Bunoan, Secretary Tulfo, 4, plus 23 from the Department of Foreign Affairs, plus sa JBC. So, nung sinagot ko po yung taong yon, sabi ko, alam mo, marami kasi sa mga na-appoint, years na rin namin kilala. Public record, yung kanilang nagawa, yung integrity, and to give credit where credit is due, we have an amazing secretariat. Grabe po yung lalim ng investigation. But let me also be honest, no? If you look at the schedule of the Senate tomorrow, 15 department, 15 agencies po ang schedule natin sa budget hearing, including the Office of the Vice President, the Department of Education, Philippine Drug enforcement agency. Ang iimportante po nito, and alam din ng mga kasama natin sa House dahil puyatan na rin sila sa budget hearing nila, no? The point is, Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vice Chairman, let's not take away from our nominees and from our people the privilege and the honor of getting to know our nominees, our appointees better. If all of us had the brains, the talent, and the time of Congressman Marcoleta, kasi siya lang po atang nakakabasa nung lahat nung investigation report, more than 100 pages. Kaya ata nawawala ngayon, nagbabasa ata ng investigation report para bukas, no? But pwera po, biro, Mr. Chairman, I know because I was in that seat. I think I hold the record na pinakamabilis na na-appoint. And because of, friends like you here in the Commission on Appointments na waive yung mga documentary requirements. And sino bang sekretaryong ayaw ma-appoint ka agad? But baka naman we can do what? Dalawa? Or kung more than 2, sabihan na sila para hindi mamapaya na nandun ang pamilya nila na we'll start it na pero hindi pa namin kayo ko-confirm today. Kasi tao din po tayo. And that's what I want people to understand. Siyempre, may pressure din sa'yo na tapusin na. Di ba? Because they have to go to work. And the last point I'd like to make, no? I'd like Secretary Tulfo to be confirmed. But kung pang-apat siya bukas, at grabe ang nangyari sa Central Luzon, hihilahin natin siya. Kung ikaw ang Secretary, siguro hindi mo naman choice pag sinabi mong schedule ka na bukas, gusto mo rin ma-confirm, baka magalit pa tayo pag hindi pumunta. Pero DSWD is in the middle of all of the rehabilitation and relief work. So I was looking at the schedule tomorrow, Mr. Chair. Ano ba dito ang kailangan mabilis? Well, foreign affairs, mga ambassador, OFWs, siguro kailangan bilisan natin yan. Budget, nasa gitna tayo ng budget hearing, siguro kailangan bilisan natin yan. DSWD, as I said, bilisan at kung itutuloy natin bukas, baka pwede na natin unahin. Pero katulad ng DPWH, hindi ba slow but sure dapat pag infrastructure? So, when we look at all of this, Mr. Chair, we're doing hard work here. I'm not complaining about the amount of work. I'm complaining that baka yung quality of work maapektuhan because the investigation reports are more than 100 pages. At pag sinabay natin dito sa budget hearing natin, apektado talaga tayo. And let me close with what the statement of policy in our very own rules tells us, no? Sabi po sa statement of policy, the Commission, being part of our Republican system of checks and balances, shall act as a restraint against the abuse of the appointing authority, to the end that the power of disapproval should be exercised to protect and enhance public interest. So I do know that in the case of the DFA and the AFP, iba po kasi nga double and check and balance natin eh. They don't get appointed or promoted without going through a rigorous process in their departments and then yung ating secretariat, no? Pero yung secretaries, the reality is alter ego choice ng presidente yan eh. So although may vetting system, hindi pa ganun ka-high-tech ang vetting system natin. So it is really the CA that is the line of defense.
Right with the position of Senator Cayetano, although I'm not part of the minority. Perhaps to rephrase his comments, it would boil down to the 5-day rule, Mr. President. We are not yet tired. Congressman Marcoleta is still very energetic. And the same is true with the majority leader. He emphasized to me his youthful robustness during the lunch break. But perhaps again, the toll on our daily grind, Mr. President. The toll probably is the gist of the good minority leaders manifestation. So, Mr. President, we can still work. But we observe the 5-day rule. We recognize likewise the limits of our physical endurance. This is not going to be a marathon. but the marathon is the budget deliberations. But we all enjoy working for the Commission on Appointments as part of our mandate, Mr. President. So I join the manifestation of our good minority leader. Baka pagod na yung iba, pero ituloy lang po natin yung ating trabaho. Alang-alang sa bayan, Mr. President.
Mr. Chair, may we recognize Senator Cynthia Villar?
Villar is recognized.
I just want to manifest that those in the list tomorrow, I haven't talked to them even once. So I just wonder if we schedule secretaries whom we haven't talked to before their appointment. I just want to make that manifestation. Thank you very much.
Mr. Chair, one thing is for sure, all members are hardworking and up for the challenge. But, however, we understand that the Senate has to tackle your own agenda in business. Congressmen, we have to go back to Congress now because we're in the thick of approving the one-third reading the budget. But we note everyone's opinion, comment, and moving forward, I think we will work accordingly based on time constraints and
We appeal, Your Honor, we appeal to our friends in the executive because they badger us with calls every night, every hour, including the Secretariat. We make an appeal to our distinguished colleagues that we will now follow maybe a 2-committee or maximum 3-committee rule every Commission on Appointments Day so that hindi po tayo always naghahabol ng oras. We have enough time to ask questions and we have enough time to vet out any opposition on their appointments. And we appeal to them. We don't do this because we don't like them. We do this, as said by Senator Cayetano, because we want the public. We owe it to the public to know what their plans or programs are for their departments. So I'm glad that the Minority Floor Leader brought that up. Even I am having sleepless nights on how to schedule their appointments, and so be it. It has been said and it shall be followed. And if there's no objections from our colleagues in the next hearing, the next few hearings, particularly tomorrow, we cannot finish tomorrow with the list that I've given. We will not be able to finish till 6 p.m. So that we'll have to cut down that list. And I'll leave it to the Majority Floor Leader and our colleagues to see who will have to vent for the next hearing.
Mr. Chair, on the part of the House contingent, upon consultation with our chairman, we fully agree with the suggestion of the Minority Leader, the Senate President, and Senator Tolentino and Senator Cynthia Villar, in order to, fully deliberate on all nominees. We agree with the suggestion, and the 5-day rule definitely should be followed moving
Yes.
forward.
Moving forward. Thank you very much. So, gentlemen, ladies, after a very long day, I think this is the longest day that the Commission on Appointments has had. It's not because I'm your trabador ng Senado.